Welcome to Make It Happen. 5 minutes of inspiration to get from stuck to unstoppable without changing who you are, and even if no one believes in you or stand by you. Today's guest, we have Dr. John Tan. He is the Executive Director of Children at Risk Empowerment Association, CARE Singapore, and President of Youth Work Association. Over 30 years, he has helped thousands of youths to realize their life potential. Dr. John Tan is a podcaster, and his podcast can be listened on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And the name of the podcast is called Every Youth Matters.
Make it happen. This is Dr. John Tan, the founding president of Youth Work Association Singapore, as well as the Executive Director of Children at Risk Empowerment, otherwise known as CARE Singapore. Do you know of a difficult person in your life? Do you know of someone who just gets on your nerves? Do you know of someone who you just cannot get your message across despite your best efforts? Well, I'm making the assumption that most of us, if not all, would know of such a person. I'd like to share with you some tips as to how we can achieve positive outcomes even though we might be dealing with somebody who we consider difficult. And this model I will be sharing with you is an ABC model. ABC model. And A stands for assumptions. Assumptions. What assumptions are you bringing into the picture? What assumptions of this person are you having in your mind? What mental models have you already have placed the person, and therefore it makes it difficult for you to get around it? And I'll go for the B. What's B? B is your biasness. Apart from just the assumptions that you are making, what biasness are you carrying of that person that then puts you in a wrong starting position? And the third one will be checking, which is the C, ABC, checking your position. Checking your position means, are you in a position of judgment already? Have you come to your conclusions already, even before knowing the picture? Well, it does mean that you need to do some reframing, because how we view others affects the way they respond to us. How we view others affects the way they respond to us. So if your first assumptions that you have made of the person is not correct, then you need to correct it. You need to have the humility to know that you may be wrong. And so that's a very helpful way of approaching any situation. And that is to approach with a measure of humility that I may be wrong. And so in coming back to that ABC, firstly, check your assumptions. And secondly, check also your biasness that will affect or impact your starting position. And finally, the C, which is checking all your positions. Is your position of judgment, or is it a position of consideration? And so I trust and I hope that this ABC method of approaching difficult people will be helpful for you as well. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by InstantPodcastLeader.com, the leading platform to launch your podcast in 48 hours and make it profitable. Get your free audiobook and free web class at InstantPodcastLeader.com/webclass.